Good evening, I'm Mark. So no hard feelings. It's just a lighthearted way of saying, I don't have a resentment. Well, if I have to say that, I probably have one, or I'm thinking about it. You see, I can say that with a lot of confidence because there's really one thing I'm really good at, like TED Talk's good, and that's resenting. I think they're going to contact me to do a TED Talk actually on resentment. I can harbor resentment for years, decades. Super good at it. And what it's done is it's prevented me from taking an honest and open self-assessment of myself. I couldn't take my own inventory because the resentments would get in the way. It'd always be like, well, but he, she, they, or whatever institution it was I was resenting, because I'm a non-discriminatory resenter. Well, after resenting for the first couple decades of my life, I've bumped my heads a couple times. I became a willing student. And if you're a willing student, a teacher will appear. And one did appear in my life, Todd. And he had me make a list of everyone I resented. And my first list was like 5 things. He's like, you're not being honest with me. You can do better. And he had me divide paper up in 3 columns. And he said, in the first column, I want you to put down who or what institution you resent. I said, what about the other 2 columns? He goes, you don't need to know that right now. Just list who it is you resent. So I got honest with it. I filled up way more than 1 paper, let's put it that way. So I took it to him, all proud, like these are the people and the institutions who have wronged me in the past. He said, okay, second column. And I'm like, yeah. Put down your role in it. I'm like, what do you mean my role? He goes, put down what you did to wrong these peoples and institutions. I'm like, but I'm the one that he goes, hold on here, just stop. He said, after the word but, the only thing that comes after but is shit. So just shut up. He goes, put down what you did. I go, but, didn't I tell you to stop? Yes. So, again, I had to get honest with myself. What was it that I've done? You know, one of the resentments that I can bring a resentment back at any time also. You know, Mrs. Bucher, my 6th grade teacher, she beat my ass like every week in front of the class, which at that time you were allowed to do it. Hands on the blackboard. And then she would beat my ass. Gee, just for no good reason, I got a good ass beating. Now, I admit, she shouldn't have done it. I spent 35 years in a classroom, never beat a single kid's ass. And when I first started, I could have, but nope. But I obviously had something to do with it. She didn't randomly pick me every week for a good ass beating. So, so I had to put down my role, which is, it was brutal, but I got through it. The third column was what I was going to do to make things right. Well, there were girls in there that I dated or whatever. I'm like, do you mean to tell me I have to call them? He goes, they don't want to talk to you. He's like, your apology is that you're going to leave them alone and you're going to become a better husband. Jesus. He said, apologies are actions. They're things you need to do. He said, you need to be a better son, a better brother. He asked me, when's the last time you called your brother? I do call him on a regular basis now. So I had to do these action things, not go up and say, will you forgive me for what I did? Lame actions. So he said that seeking forgiveness will help me forgive them. I'm like, what? He goes, it's just something you're not going to understand until you do it. Okay. And another thing he told me, he said, resentments are like peeing on yourself. He goes, you're the only one that feels it. He said, all those people you resent, they don't feel a damn thing. He goes, but you feel it. He says, it's negative and it draws you down. He said, resentments are like a rock that are dragging you down and you're drowning. I'm like, what do I do? He goes, let go of the rock, dummy. Float to the top. Just let the resentment go. So I'd like to say that today I am resentment free, but my eyes are brown for a reason. And that's because I'm full of what comes after a butt. But what I do have is some tools where I can let these resentments go quicker and move on with my life. Thank you.